Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are checking out this channel for the first time and you're interested in becoming a model, you definitely want to subscribe to this channel because I give you guys awesome tips that you're not going to find anywhere else on how you guys can break into the modeling industry. All right, so in my videos, I give you guys tips on how to get represented by an agency, and I also give you some tips on how to find work as a freelance model as well. So here's the thing. If you're a freelance model, oftentimes you're submitting yourselves for jobs. And a lot of times some clients might actually reach out to you directly, whether it's on Instagram or email. And one of the very first questions they always want to know is, what are your rates? Now, as a model, you definitely don't want to lowball yourself. And I know it's very difficult to put on your business hats and negotiate your rates, especially when you're creative or an artist. So in this video, I want to cover some of the basic things that you guys should be thinking about before you decide what your rates is going to be for a job. All right, guys, so before I get into this business, how are you guys feeling? How are you guys doing? Are you guys working? How's modeling going for you in 2021? I've been a little bit busy myself personally, and I feel like this year we're gonna get over the pandemic finally, and jobs are gonna pick back up. Agencies are gonna start signing new models, and there's gonna be a lot of work for everybody, so that's pretty good, right? Couple of things I do want to point out. I do have an ebook on how to get started in the modeling industry. It's listed on my websites. If you guys haven't seen it, you definitely want to check that out. It's a digital download, so just follow through the prompts and then you're going to get a download link to download the ebook. It's about 20 pages on how to get into the modeling industry. Also, another thing that I do have, I recently added on a modeling consultation service to my website. Now I've partnered with some working models at top agencies around the world. These guys can give you a one-on-one coaching session where they can give you guys some tips on what you need to do, whatever questions you guys have on the modeling industry, whether it's how to get signed, how to get more work, your modeling portfolio, how to build your Instagram, etc. Whatever questions you guys have, these model coaches, they've been working in the industry for a very long time, just like me. So they'll be able to answer your questions and guide you through on your modeling career. So I highly suggest that you guys definitely check this out, especially if you're an aspiring model. There's already been a couple of people who have tried it out and left a positive review on my site. Thank you guys very much. So in 2021, there's no excuses. This is your year to break into the industry. This is your year to get more work. This is the year to elevate your career. But anyway, let's get into this video. So how much should you charge as a freelance model? It depends. And here's why it depends. There are a couple of things that you need to consider before you jump and give someone out your rates. So let's say a client sends you a direct message on Instagram and they're like, hey, I'd love to work with you. What are your rates? How much do you charge for a job? A couple of things you need to know, a couple of questions that you should ask before you give out your rates. One, what is the usage? Assuming it's a photo shoot, is this going to be a web only or is it going to be print? Because you don't want a situation where you give a lowball offer, like you only charge 200 bucks or something like that, and then all of a sudden your face and your images are printed in catalogs and magazines, on billboards, they're in different countries, and you're like, hey, I only got like $200 for this job, and all of a sudden I'm all over the place, right? So you want to make sure that you know what the usage of those images are going to be. If it's web only or if it's web and print. Now, if it's web and print, you also want to know what the region is going to be. Is it going to be the United States only? Is it going to be Midwest, Pacific, national, international? So obviously you're going to charge a lot more if the usage is global versus if it's national or regional. So these are some questions that you should ask before you give out your rates. Another thing that you guys need to be thinking about is the duration of the usage. So for instance, if a client decides to shoot with you, you don't want to give them a lifetime exclusive or unlimited usage, right? You want to make sure that that usage is capped to at least 1 or 2 years. And then after that 1 or 2 years, they would have to renew with you, essentially pay you again to renew for another 2 to 3 years or whatever the terms might be. But you definitely don't want to give unlimited usage because you could become, the next top model tomorrow. And then all of a sudden they're advertising and they're making money based on images that you shot way back when you just started your career. So you want to make sure there's a cap on that usage. Very important. Another thing you want to consider is the type of the brand and how big they are before you present your rates. So let's just say, for example, a Nike representative reached out to you and they said, hey, we want to shoot with you. What are your rates? Obviously, your rates are going to be on the higher side versus what you would give maybe a lower end brand or a startup brand or something like that. So if you're ever approached and someone says, hey, I want to work with you as a model, what are your rates? Now, this is my suggestion, and of course you guys can feel free to increase your rates, lower your rates, whatever you want to do, but this is my suggestion. This should be a good starting point for you guys. A typical hourly rate, especially if you're not a top model, getting a lot of work all over the world, if you're just an everyday model, maybe you're not as recognizable as some of the models that you see on the runway in New York, a typical hourly rate should be between $75 per hour to $250 per hour. This is a good range. This is a good starting point. It's not too high, and of course you're not lowballing yourself either. And then on the other hand, a typical day rates should be between $1,200 to $2,500. This is a good day rates for you as a model. And one working day is no longer than 10 hours. So typically a working day is between 8 to 10 hours. And if you go over 10 hours, there should be some kind of overtime compensation worked into that contract. So if you're ever approached and someone says, hey, what are your rates? You definitely want to keep these things in mind. Ask about the usage, ask about the duration, negotiate from there, and then provide your hourly rates and provide your day rates. And whatever works best for the clients, they'll figure out a way to work with you. So this is a good starting point in terms of figuring out how much to charge as a freelance model. Again, this is my suggestion, and this is what is typical in the industry. So feel free to use it, or feel free to increase your rate if you guys want to. If you guys have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'm always reading the comments. If you like this video, if you learned anything new, hit me with a thumbs up. Don't forget to sub. I'll see you guys in the next one.